It is as true of nations as it is of individuals that we flourish or we crash depending largely not on our wealth and not on our luck, but on our attitudes. These attitudes are driven by perception. So what I'd like to do today is for us to explore the perceptions that lay at the heart of our success in failure of dealing with the world around us and the 7 billion people that make up that world. So, first thing you might have noticed is, coming from Australia, that I have an accent. Put up your hand if you have an accent. Okay, every hand should be up. And yet, I've done this exercise with literally thousands of people, and often, few people put their hands up. Why? Because we perceive the world largely through contrast. Canada's own Marshall McLuhan said it best. He said, the one thing about which a fish knows precisely nothing is the water it swims in. This is how we view the world. Now, that has a fundamental impact on our ability to perceive things. So, let me pose this question to you. Who would agree with this statement? Elephants are big. Please put up your hand. Okay. Any countercultural out there brave enough to disagree with a raise of hands? A couple. That's good. Now, when I asked them, inevitably, they posed the same question back to me. Compared to what? Imagine for a moment that you are literally the size of an elephant. Don't panic and go and get a gym pass, just roll with me a little on the exercise. You look across and you see an elephant, which I really wanted as a prop on stage, but they wouldn't let me, but that's a different thing. Do you look across now and go, wow, that's really big? No. Why not? Because when we say elephants are big, what we really mean is elephants are bigger than me. We are the default setting for that contrast. Things are big and small, fast and slow, normal, strange, right, wrong. Based on the fundamental world and rules and regulations that I live in. This has come to define how I see everything else that there is. And that's where our first cross-cultural challenge comes from. Especially if that is something that is at so much at the heart of me that I've never thought to perceive it another way. That's when it changes and changes our perception of the world. And to illustrate this, I'd like to take a quick perception of the world. Put your hand up if you think there's something wrong with this map. Okay. Now, if I said, find your home country, you could do it. If I said, south is up and navigate a ship now, you could do it. So it works. Everything about this works, but there's still some part of you wanting me to go on to another slide because it's very unsettling. Your whole life, you have seen the world projected to you in one particular way. This map was actually done in my home country of Australia, in fact, my home city of Brisbane, HEMA Maps. And they did this specifically to illustrate the point that the way you've always seen the world is because Europeans and Egyptians who came up with the first world maps naturally put themselves at the top and at the center. If the first world maps you had become accustomed to were from my home city, this is how you would see the world. Where's he from? Oh, he's from up south. My parents are going down north for vacation. Justin's from the land up over. And this is critical simply because all of your life, if you perceive something one way and you've determined it to be right, there's a huge jump to say that the opposite of right can also be right. And this is so important when we're dealing with people from another culture. And why? 1 in 5 Canadians was born outside of Canada. Immigration provides 2/3 of this country's population growth. In fact, within 15 years, Stats Canada say it'll be all of it. Where I work at the Multicultural Association of the Greater Moncton Area, this is what we work through, is making people settle into their local community. In fact, put your hand up if you're part of an immigrant family. Okay, every hand should be up. Whether it was 20 years ago or 100 years ago or 15,000 years ago across the frozen Bering Strait, you came here, and the face of Canada is the face of immigration. So I'll leave you with this final challenge. Walk out and take every cross-cultural opportunity and the learning contrast that comes from that as a chance to analyze the fundamental perceptions and ideas that you hold at the heart of yourself to find out who you are and what you believe. Thank you.